And speaking of producers, there's a whole glut of them on later in the show. But let's welcome more. Here he is. What do you got, Edzo? What do you got?
Come on.
What do you got?
Whatever. I'll help you. No?
Happy birthday, Edzo.
Yeah, hey, Edzo, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Edzo.
And the one and only Laffit Pincay III. Have you shaved this morning?
No, not at all.
Are you letting it grow in as well?
Yeah, that's like 4 weeks for me.
I've never seen anything like that.
I cannot hear Nick.
That's not a bad thing. It's never a bad thing.
I have to say, Laffit, looking well for, what do we say, 88 by the time you celebrate your birthday every Kentucky Derby week, thanks to Eddie Olczyk.
Yeah, every dinner with Eddie Olczyk, there's another birthday celebrated. The best part about that was the time we went to the same restaurant the same year, and I celebrated my birthday twice. That was brilliant.
I love it. First and foremost, how are each of you doing? How are your families and friends? Give us an update on how everyone's doing.
Go ahead, sir.
Everybody is good, Britt. Thanks. Yeah, we're sheltering in place, and check on my folks who live a few miles from us. They're a little bit older, obviously, so not to make light of the situation, but I'm kind of a veteran of sheltering in place. 2 years ago, battling my stage 3 colon cancer, I had to stay home for almost 3 months of my 6 months of chemo. So I'm pretty much used to staying at home for a long period of time. So I'm kind of a veteran at it. But, my daughter and my youngest son are living with us, and they're, typical young people that, want to get out and do things. But hopefully everybody's staying safe out there. And we certainly are hoping everybody is adhering to all the, the advice and the laws that are out there. And hopefully we'll all get on the right side of this. And again, thanks to all our first responders and those essential workers and everybody on the front line. And look forward to seeing you guys all very soon in person, so we can go and celebrate either Brittany or Laffit's birthday at some point here soon.
I'm going to get you again one of these days when you least expect it.
All right.
Laffit, how are you? How's Sonia?
Thanks. So everybody's good. Sonia, Jacob, everybody's, we're healthy. We're happy. We're fine. Just echoing so much of what Mike Tirico was saying earlier. And by the way, like, who wants to follow Mike Tirico? Like, who wants to show up and it's like after Mike Tirico? Like, really? And
if he was on any longer,
people
would be requesting Nick and I leave and Mike stay.
No, he's like you said, absolutely legendary. No, everybody's good. Had a little bit of a scare with Dad. I was in Florida around the time he went to Panama. This was right in February, and probably when we started to take this really seriously. And I think Bob Baffert's quote was the best. We became, germaphobes literally overnight. He got back from Panama. He was a little bit ill. He got tested negative. Dad's healthy. Dad's happy. So no complaints. Everybody's good. Thanks for asking.
Good.
That's great news. Actually, Gary's just posted a question right when you were talking about your dad. What's one of your favorite memories of your dad while he was still riding?
Oh, wow. So by the time I started actually caring about the sport, he was in the twilight of his career, but it's different being a son of a jockey than the son of a basketball, baseball, football player. By the time you're in your late teens, that's ancient for a basketball, football player. As a jockey, Dad was still riding, and I got to enjoy his last Breeders' Cup win. Nice. It was in 1993, so I would have been 17. And that was the only one there that I was actually there for. He won the Derby when I was 9. I didn't know what the Derby was. And when he won most of his bigger races, I was too young to appreciate it. But actually being there for his last Breeders' Cup win in the 93 Juvenile Fillies phone chatter, that's probably the first one that comes to mind, just because you're actually there to take it all in and appreciate it.
Edzo, can you hear me now?
Really special.
I can hear you, Nick. Good to see you with you, buddy.
You too.
Poor guy.
I was just talking to Laffit about memories of his dad. How much did your kids get to see you play?
My oldest boy's got a lot to. Hey, Laffit, what's this picture here? What is
wow, look at that.
This is so cool. I had never seen that picture before in my life. And Dad texted me this picture 2 days ago. It's Bill Shoemaker. And like, my father was a jockey. I can say objectively, Bill Shoemaker was the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Hall of Famer George Velasquez Angel Cordero and my father. Nick, you'll appreciate this. It was a British jockeys U.S. riders championship, a riding competition in the UK. That picture was apparently taken in London.
I think it was at Sandown Park.
You would know better than I would. 1980.
Which is say 2 miles from where I'm sitting now.
So cool. So it was Pat Ettery. It was Walter Swinburne. Who was it? There was another American rider who actually rode for Team Europe. Anyhow, Dad said it was an absolute blast, and I was so excited to see that and be able to share that image. I had never seen it before a couple of days ago.
It could have been
squad goal,
or one of those guys, was it? Or Darryl McCarg, or
what was it? Might have been Cawthon.
Yeah, or Steve Cawthon. Yeah,
might have been Cawthon, Nick. Might have been Cawthon.
But I mean, amazing era of jockeyship. Then we were talking about it with Mike, weren't we, a couple of weeks ago? What Mike Smith a couple of weeks ago on this show. What an extraordinary era of talent that was.
And stories for days.
It was incredible. Dad told a quick story to me the other day. He says he went back twice, and the first time, he didn't follow instructions. He didn't understand that one side of the turf course was much better than the other side of the turf course, and he couldn't understand why everybody went that way. And he stayed here, and on a horse that he should have won, he was on the worst part of the ground, and that it's like, I probably should have listened to instructions. So the next year he went back, and he was on another fast racehorse, a fast filly, he described her, and he said that he banked it pretty hard to find the better ground and was able to win one of those races. He was speaking very glowingly of the experience.
Oh, I love that. It's no secret, Edzo, how much you love watching the races and betting on the ponies. Have you been keeping up to date with everything? How often are you watching the races?
Yeah, we need the 7 or 12 in the last race right now at Gulfstream, so I'll let you know what's going on. So
7 or 12?
Yeah, 7 or 12. Either one's good. So, but look, at the end of the day, thankfully it's been ongoing and some pretty famous racetracks, obviously at Oak Lawn and Gulfstream, and getting to know the circuit at Fauner Park and Will Rogers down. So hey, action is action, and it's helped killing the clock and passing the time and doing what I love to do, whether they're in the middle of Arkansas or Florida. It doesn't really matter. Nebraska. But yeah, it's been fun, and you guys have been doing a wonderful job, Brittany, on TVG. I've been watching every day, and obviously the simulcast coverage on NBCSN on the weekends, which is great. So the more people that see it, the better it is, and it ends up coming in 10, 1, 12. So have to turn the page and get ready for tomorrow. So.
Well, and so can you expand on that a little bit, though? With horse racing, the only game that's really up right now, and you have a love for two sports, in hockey and horse racing. What do you think sports give people? What do you think this world is going to be like once we are able to have those sports back? And Laffit, I know you, a huge baseball fan. What do you think they bring into our lives that we're noticing more than ever now than we did before?
Well, I mean, the entertainment aspect of it, Brittany, but I think really what sports does is it kind of takes us all away from our so-called little world, right? Our own little place that we live in. And I want to say it's a distraction, but certainly, people look to sports as a release and an outlet, and, passionate fans, doesn't matter what the sport is, doesn't matter what state, what country, what continent. I mean, it's something that I think people just, are in love with, and that I think that's the thing for sure. But look, I mean, we've heard the saying before, but you don't really appreciate something until it's gone. And what we've all lived through here the last 50 days, 60 days, whatever it's been, is hopefully gives everybody an opportunity to take a step back and reset and really kind of look ahead. But yeah, I think just sports in general, it's entertainment, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that maybe we all just needed to just slow down a little bit, and we take, as Eddie said, just so many things that are always seemingly there. We take it all for granted, and given that opportunity, when we have a chance to go to a baseball game, when we have a chance to see our family whenever we want to, whatever the case may be, maybe you don't do it next time. Maybe you don't do it next week. Maybe you do it today. Maybe you do it when it's right there in front of you, because you don't know when that's going to be taken away. And specifically for the Derby, as a racing fan, I've never taken the Kentucky Derby for granted. But now that we're going to wake up on the first Saturday in May, you think about it. You're going to wake up on the first Saturday in May, your head's going to hit the pillow that night, and you will not have seen a Kentucky Derby. It's not what's important given what's happening in the world, but it's for racing fans, that is bizarre. So yeah, the next one, when we get there in September, it's going to be next level.
I'm with you. More special than ever. I really do feel that first Saturday in September is going to be.
And also, it's not just a horse racing event, as Mike was saying. It's an event that unites the nation. It's part of national culture, and it's the only horse racing event that's part of national culture. So, with that in mind, when it does come round again, it should give people a sense of renewed optimism and hope that the world is progressing towards some sort of normality, even if that's not the normality that we were used to before.
Yeah, galvanizes, right, Lick? I mean, I think that's what we're hoping for, and that's what sports usually does to small communities, cities, states, countries. I mean, it brings people together, and I think that's what will hopefully happen once we get to that first Saturday in September, which doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't.
The first Saturday in May, is that right? You know, so always have to slow down just a little bit. You know, I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to, but I look at, I can't wait and look at, I mean, without getting into the X's and O's, so to speak. I've been asked this question a lot. Just, you know, how different will it be? And I'm just saying, from the animal's point of view, from the equine athlete point of view, you have horses that are very immature right now still and raw, and maybe we're going to see somebody, Britt, on Saturday in one of the two divisions of the Arkansas Derby all of a sudden go from a sports analogy, from a minor leaguer to a first-time all-star, you know, and it's just that maturation process. So much can happen in between now and September. So that's the one thing that's gonna be really interesting, is who and where does it come from? Because, you know, there's going to be somebody that shows up there and going, wow, well, he would have never been here if ... you know, the Derby would have been on the first Saturday.
Yeah,
May,
like
so
somewhere Arrowgate sitting there being like,
exactly,
in 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Everybody thought that he could have been that type of Triple Crown winner, but it's also showing to you that perhaps a career for the latter half of their 3-year-old year, he made it desirable, because look at what he did. You know, perhaps it's not, you know, the worst thing in the world to miss the, you know, Triple Crown races if they're going to mature. So now we're going to actually get to see that, which is really thrilling and exciting to me, which is why I said earlier, this could possibly be one of the best Kentucky Derbies we've ever seen, because we have so many mature 3-year-olds. It just makes it fun. I miss all of the banter that horse racing and sports bring, especially between you and Jerry, Edzo.
Yeah, just make sure you're propping Jerry up on the chair he's sitting in today. So when he's on the show, okay. Hey, I do want to, if I could, I want to say this though. It's just my opinion. I've talked to Laffit about this. I do believe that. I mean, Bob Baffert is the man. I think he's been the man for a long time, and he's going to go down as the man. I believe Arrowgate is the best horse that he's ever had. I really believe that. Like, I think he's better than American Pharoah, and I think he's better than Justify. But to your point, Laffit and Britt, is that, you know, him not playing, or him not racing early in his three-year-old career. So he was an amazing horse when he was really right, because that Travers, boy, oh boy, was that Travers unbelievable. And
that's
unbelievable, because you had him at 10, because he had him at 10-1. Yeah. Because Eddie Olczyk.
It's always about the wagering. Mike Tirico, happy birthday. All right.
If you are, happy birthday. If you are a speed figure guy, just to, you know, roll the conversation forward to like the Arkansas Derby, Charlatan, on paper, if you're a speed figure guy, you follow the Beyer speed figures, always equate them to a quarterback rating, higher the number, faster the race. Charlatan in his first 2 races is actually faster. Jonathan Kinchin, terrific handicapper, brought this to my attention. In his first 2 races on paper, we're not saying he is those horses, but he's faster than American Pharoah, Justify, and Arrowgate in his first 2 races. Just something to keep in mind when Charlatan loads into the starting gate for the first division of the Arkansas Derby on Saturday.
So is that who you're picking? Give me one name, each of you, for the Arkansas Derby.
I'm going to go. In the first, it's Charlatan for sure. But in Division 2, I'm going to tip my hand. I'm going to go Farmington Road on the outside with Javier Castellano.
All right.
A lot of plays in that second division. Look out for Silver Prospector. I think he's sitting on the big one.
Guys, thank you so much.
Pleasure. Great to see you guys.
Stay
Love
safe.
you guys.
Stay healthy.
See ya.
Edzo, happy birthday, brother.
All right. Here to go, Mike.
Happy birthday to Eddie Olczyk
So many birthdays.
and Laffit